Welcome everyone to the PJScast. I'm your host Pierce, alongside my good pals Dylan and Jacob, and maybe Mitch later. I'm not sure. So today is the playoff preview. It's already here. It's a quick turnaround. The regular season ended yesterday. We'll talk about the Blackhawks another episode, and hell, we might even have Jacob on to talk about Sabres as well. But this episode is strictly the playoffs. We might have our good pal Mitch to join us to talk about Vegas later, but I don't know. I guess we'll see where that goes. But let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into the previews here. We're going to preview all 8 series. Which series do you guys want to start with? I'll let you all have the pick of the litter here.
I guess start with the Western Conference Final rematch.
Sure.
Since that was the last series that got finalized.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so Dallas gets my Stanley Cup champion gets to beat the former Stanley Cup champion to get their cup this year. I'm sticking with Dallas through and through, but like this is not a good matchup for Dallas in round one. I'm just gonna be honest. Like,
congrats,
Vegas,
you won the Western Conference. Now you get to face the defending Stanley Cup champions with mostly a healthy lineup.
Yay!
They can blame Chicago for not beating LA last night because that might have been able to help them a little bit. But also, like,
they can blame Vegas for just not winning.
Yeah, there's that too. Yep. And that seems to be the case a lot this year with Vegas, is they just haven't been able to string together the wins when they need to, and that's why they're the wild card 2 right now. But also, they're the defending Stanley Cup champ. You can't count them out. And I look at the series, and it all comes down to goaltending. I think. If Ottinger's on his A game, like we've known he can be, especially in the playoffs, I don't know how you can't pick Dallas in this series, but also Aiden Hill just won the cup. I think Logan Thompson's more serviceable. Like they're going to have options in that. And I just think like both teams can outscore their problems. It's just going to come down to who can actually stop the puck, because last year Dallas couldn't when they needed to. And that's why they lost badly when they did. And it wasn't even badly. It was just the way they lost those games last year. So I think they learned from their mistakes. I think that the acquisitions they made are going to help with that, especially Tanev. And I think it's going to be a slugfest, but I got Dallas in 7.
Yeah,
you go, Jacob.
Oh, this one's so hard because I hate going against last year's Cup champs ever. Yeah, I'm on. Never mind. Sorry, I thought it was.
You're good.
I hate going against last year's Cup champ ever because like they won for a reason, and that team's disgusting. And Stone's going to be back, and they got a hurdle. Kind of the last hurrah with potentially Stevenson and Marchessault, because they're going to lose somebody.
They're going to be Blackhawks. Woo!
They're going to lose somebody this year. Please, they're not all going to resign, and they got Hannafin in that. So like something's got to give, right? Right? No, I don't. I'm gonna go Dallas at 6, but it's kind of just a gut feeling. This is like the hardest one to actually like try to predict, because I just this Dallas team is sick, and if anything starts to falter, you have those. I mean, Johnson's been up, but Stankoven you can inject in, or even like Maverick Bork has looked really good when he was up. So I think they can do more, and I don't know, it's still so tough. I hate rooting against Vegas in this one, but yeah, I'll go Dallas in 6.
Yeah, like I think the big thing in this series is goaltending, and not even just the series, the whole playoffs, because I mean, I think I've said so many times on the show this year, if you don't have an elite goalie, if you don't have a Vasilevsky, if you don't have even an Ottinger, like I think with teams like Vegas, with teams like Boston, I think you're going to see rotating goalies. Like the moment, say, if Aiden Hill loses game 1, I think Vegas will go to Logan Thompson. And that was what, last year, 2 evenly matched teams in the Western Conference Final. And of course, naturally, they meet in the first round the next year. The difference in that series was goaltending. There were so many close games. I think 2 or 3 games went to overtime in that series, and then those 2 games were blowouts. So, if Jake Ottinger was better in that series, they could have potentially won that series, gone to the Cup final and won, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. That was last year. This is a new year. I think looking at teams that are best positioned to win, not only this year, but for many years ahead, like they're in win now mode, but also have, young talent coming up, like you guys mentioned with, Wyatt Johnston, a third liner. Same with Logan Stankoven and Maverick Bourque. I don't even think is going to play for them, but that's just another depth option. Dallas is so well built. They've done everything these past 5 years except win a cup. They've won into the cup champ. I think they've run into the cup champion 3 or 4 times. Like they ran into. Forget about this. They took St. Louis to a Game 7 double overtime in 2019. 2020, obviously, they lost to the Lightning in the bubble. 2020, like last year, they lost to Vegas. Vegas goes on to win the cup. So you could flip a coin, but I do think Dallas, this is their year. I agree with Schmitty. I know he's been all in on Dallas since the beginning of the year, and I think that is going to be the case. They got everything you need. I think Jake Andre, he wasn't great last year, but I think this is his time to rebound. I think he'll do that. But, I mean, man, it could go either way. I think it starts in 7, though.
I also think continuity is going to play a major factor in this series. How many times have we seen the team that makes all the trade deadline acquisitions not be able to put it all together come playoff time? Like, there's another team coming up later on, I think it's going to have that problem. But I think Dallas is like top 9. Minus Duchesne has all been there for the last couple seasons. And I think that plays such a pivotal role in just like knowing where you're going to be in every situation. And yeah, Vegas is obviously they're all really good. They won the cup, but also there's so much new blood being mixed. They're like, there's only one puck on the ice at the end of the day. So we'll just see how everyone meshes together. Cause obviously it could all work and they just align perfectly like the Tetris board, but like, that doesn't happen every time. You don't get a Columbus in 2019 where every trade deadline acquisition just goes off. Like,
just works, yeah.
Yep. So that's what I'm mainly concerned with. That and goaltending. Those are probably my 2 biggest things to watch for in that series, personally.
So yeah, we all got stars. I got stars in 7. Dylan, I believe you have stars in 7 as well, and then Jacob's got stars in 6. I wonder what Mitch would have said if he were here. Probably the same thing, obviously. Yeah, he doesn't, have a cup ring from the team or, has been in a commercial with them, but yeah. So yeah, we'll just go based off the bracket here that got pulled up. So next series we'll go Jets versus Avalanche. I don't know if one of you guys wants to take the lead on this.
Oh yeah, sure, you can go.
No, you're good.
Okay, I was gonna say as a resident Winnipeg fan, I can't talk about them.
So you're from a Peg. Yeah. You're a big Peg fan.
A big Peg City guy here.
Chilling in the
out of these 2 teams, Colorado was so good last year, or like the year before when they won the cup. And last year they had obviously the disappointing exit to Seattle. This one's tough because on paper, I always, you look at the goalies and Hellebuyck just blows Georgiev right out of the water. But this Winnipeg team has like consistently just not been a good playoff team. Now maybe under bonus they'll be a little better. I don't know. They've got Perfetti on the 4th line and Ehlers. I don't know what they're doing. And then again, Colorado just like, I don't know. I thought after that Middlestat trade they were going to gel, and they did originally, and then they kind of fell on harder times. I think the end of the year in the last 10 games he had like 1 point and he was -7. So something changed, and it hasn't been as good. That being said, obviously, I don't know what's going on with Landeskog. I think he's skating. Is he dead? I can't remember.
He's dead.
If he's dead,
I'm dead in Miami.
He's not coming back. I don't know. I'll go Winnipeg in 7 because I think the goaltending will help out. That being said, Colorado could easily win this because Nathan McKinnon is an absolute.
They're so top heavy.
That's the one thing is like I don't know if Winnipeg has a line and like a defense to shut that line down. Like some of these teams you can kind of look at and be like, oh, well, you put up the 3rd line. I don't know if Winnipeg has that. So they're going to rely on Hellebuyck. And again, if he falters at all, they're just screwed. But I'll ride the hot hand. He's probably going to win the Vezina, so I'll take him.
Should win the
Jets
Vezina,
6 or 7, whatever I said.
For sure. Just to piggyback off your point, I don't think this series is as close as people are making it out to be. Winnipeg has had Colorado's number all year.
Didn't they just beat them 7-0 like less than a week ago? And they won 8 in a row coming in the playoffs.
Yep. And I think this is just another case of depth is just going to be a major problem for Colorado. Like, they can't go 4 lines. And let's just be honest, Winnipeg can go 5 lines if they wanted to. Like, they're going to have to scratch one of Perfetti, Kupari, or I think it's oh God, what's his name? I don't know. There's one more guy that's in their bottom 6, Barron, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
They could run 5 lines. Their defense is not as terrible as it looks on paper.
They have Dylan Schmidt. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, they play a well-structured game. And I just trust Hellebuck more than I trust Georgiev at the end of the day. Granted, I trust Nathan McKinnon more than anyone on the ice, and same with McCarr, and same with Rantanen. Like, that's the actual key. Like, Winnipeg's got the collective depth, which helps out so much in round 1. We've seen this time and time again. But also, it's a case of, but who's better than Nathan McKinnon on the ice? Who's better than Mikko Rantanen on the ice? Who's better than Kevin McCarr on the ice? And it's no one, unless it's the goalie. So that,
if that Colorado team gets a couple power plays, which if I remember right, they were like out of all the playoff teams had the most power plays by like a country mile. So if they get that luck going into the playoffs, good God, could they really like that top line could feast? But I was gonna look up Winnipeg's lines for you, but unfortunately, because last game they had Brad Lambert on the first line and I have no idea.
I did the same shit before the pod, bro. I was like, let me look at these lines real quick.
Yeah. I was like, hey, this is.
They had Cheberkoff too, and he scored. Yeah,
he was on the 4th line, and their 3rd line's got Gustafsson and Appleton. I'm like, all right, this is nothing.
But like going to that one point you said about them not having a shutdown line, I think they do in theory. Like, you throw Adam Lowry, Appleton, and in theory one of Iafallo or hell, even Monahan at some point. Not Monahan to that extent, but like they have options for shutdown.
Yeah, they definitely have options. It's what Bonus wants to do. I can't remember exactly what their lines have been. Like, I wish this showed even a couple games ago just to see what really it would have been, because they don't have Lowry in. They don't have Velarde's on. They got Velarde on the wing. That's how deep they are at center. No Scheifele. So they're definitely win the depth battle. Although I don't think Colorado's nearly as bad as it was a couple years ago. Like, I remember when they had like Darren Helm. I know Cogliano's still there, but getting Yakov Trenin for the 4th line and Middlestad as your 2nd line center, it definitely helps. But it's still just stop playing Jack Johnson.
It's not what it was in 22. Like, they don't have Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have Gabe Landeskog. Yeah. They just don't quite have it what they used to be. But
also shout out to legend from, I think it was it 21 or 22, Pavel Francouz, who just was insane, and now he's retiring. R.I.P. him.
Yeah, he was so good for them for like 3 years. It was crazy.
Literally won 6 games on their cup win in 2022.
If Sam Girard comes back and they do the smart thing and take Johnson out, I really like their top 6. That's disgusting. But if they take out Caleb Jones instead, then I'm going Winnipeg in 4.
What's their defense looking like right now? Because obviously you got Taves and McCarr.
Sean Walker, Manson, Johnson, Jones.
Ooh, that so besides Taves on the left side, that's kind of weak.
I think what they'll do is go Gerard, Manson, and then Johnson or Jones with Walker on the 3rd pair. So it'd be left, right. But
this is why I fucking hate Colorado, because they're the team that's so going to pull a 2015 Blackhawks, and their core 6 is just going to fucking go berserk and take them all away. Like, all it's going to take is all it's going to take is one of Duran or Parise to get their head out of their ass, and it's going to take one of those defensemen to get offensively.
Hasn't Duran been crazy this year?
Yeah, but I don't trust that in the playoffs.
Oh, that's absolutely fair. Yeah. They do have at least good.
I'll go with the field rather than the one season. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair. Yeah.
But
this one's definitely tough. But the one big question mark is just Georgiev. That, especially his last couple games. Holy fuck! Not very good.
Well, that's where it's decided. That's where it's decided for me. Like, I think Colorado could be another team. Like, if Georgiev loses them game 1, do they maybe go to Justice Noonan, who has put up decent numbers, albeit in a very small sample size? I don't know. Yeah, they could, like what Dylan said, they could very much pull 25th. Like, to me, the Avalanche are the most top-heavy team in the league. You got Cale Makar, Devon Taves will be a number one defenseman on most teams, and then Nathan McKinnon could any other year he's probably winning the Hart. Mika Rantanen, I feel we don't talk about it much. Yeah, just unreal. I just I would just rather take the Jets. Like, I know exactly what you're getting, Connor Hellebuck. Maybe they don't have the brand name on defense that Colorado does, but like they get the job done. And then the forwards, like Scheifele, Connor, Ehlers, all those guys are very good. Not as good as Colorado's top end, but I just to me, I've always loved Gabe Vilardi. I could feel this could be like his breakout playoff where everyone gets to know his name. I think he's gonna have a big playoff for them. So yeah, I'm gonna take Winnipeg in 6 on this one.
That's fair.
I just I might have thought differently a few weeks ago, but just with the way Winnipeg has come into the playoffs, winning 8 in a row in Colorado, just I don't know about them. Winnipeg,
a couple of these teams have really limped into the playoffs, and Winnipeg is, I think, the only one with like a 5-game plus winning streak going in. So like they could definitely ride this hot wave.
Oh yeah, every team is like win 1, win 2, lose 1, lose
like
2.
I know the Leafs
like
lost 4 and a couple other teams have lost like 3 or 2, but it's like Winnipeg definitely got hot at the right time, especially with a lot of the line changes they made. The balls to put in 2 rookies in your last game and you still win it. That's they definitely have options. And again, like we said with Dallas, if anyone's not performing, you saw how good those 2 kids played. If you're down 3-1 and you want to make a ballsy move, you can always do something.
Brad Lambert. Here's Nikita Shubakov.
Yeah, just do something different. I think you brought up a good point with Winnipeg's defense doesn't get the credit it deserves. Morrissey turned into like an actual like good defenseman who can put up points.
Yeah, he's a dog now.
Plays a lot of minutes. But Schmidt, DeMello, Dylan Sandberg kind of came out of nowhere. Pionks had a decent year. Logan Stanley went from being shit to like kind of just gold crusted shit. He's still bad, but he's less bad.
That's the name of the podcast.
That's the best kind, though. That's the kind that gets 4 times 4.
Yeah, dude, he's getting the Ben Sherratt one after he leaves, but I definitely think it gets underrated. If they all play to their peak, they're not as bad as people say they are.
To their peak,
they play in the system. They play in bonuses structure too, which I don't think gets enough credit. Like bonuses.
Here's a guy who knows how to beat the Avalanche. 2020 Dallas Stars beat them in the bubble.
Yeah, dude. True. And this is a guy that like took a team that used to fly by the seat of their pants, and now they play in structure. Like, I don't think that gets talked about enough with the Jets. Like, when the Jets were good, it wasn't because of structure before this. It was because everyone was scoring at will. And yeah, they're still scoring a shit ton. Like, that's obviously still the case.
To me, Winnipeg is a dark horse because you know exactly what you're getting at Hellebuck, and if the rest of the team performs that way, I think they could go farther than they ever have been.
Like you were saying earlier, the 2 keys in the playoffs are being hot going into the playoffs or being healthy going into the playoffs. And luckily for Winnipeg, they got both right now. So
they got both.
Those highs.
They got both, and they've got the best goalie, so they kind of have everything's going their way. It's just
the pressure's on them. That's the key. The pressure's on them, and how do you?
It was like with Dallas and Vegas, where I'm like, I think you beat them in every category, but like Vegas won last year, Colorado won the year before. I'm like, it's so hard to just not want to pick the team that won, but I think Winnipeg could do it for sure.
Just like the Dallas Stars, they've lost to the eventual Cup champions a few times. So is Winnipeg. Also lost to St. Louis in 2019 in a series that could have gone either way. Lost to Vegas last year. Like, man, this could be their time too.
Yep. Plus, I really want to see Winnipeg play Dallas just so Winnipeg can win it and Zach will cry forever. He has so many tweets to delete if they lose. The amount of times I've seen him call them frauds.
Merchants. Speaking of PDO merchants, let's talk about the next series.
Great segue.
I can't wait for this one. I'm excited.
All right. Predators in 6.
Yeah. I'm glad Pierce.
This one. Vancouver, man. I've said this so many times. They got everything you need to go on a deep playoff run. You got your goalie with Demko. You got your number 1 defenseman with Quinn Hughes. You have a very top-heavy offense with Pedersen, with Besser, with Miller, all those guys. But Nashville, like everywhere, like UC Saros hasn't been amazing. Roman Josi has been incredible. Like, should get Norris consideration.
Absolutely.
Behind Quinn Hughes. Like, to me, everywhere Vancouver is better probably on paper, but Nashville has just been playing better, and I trust them more. Like
Mm-hmm.
Philip Forsberg just about hit 50 goals. And
yeah, he broke Nashville's goal record.
Goose Nyquist had a career year. Ryan O'Reilly is just back to peak form. Like, I just look at that team. They should not be winning how they are, yet they are. Like, this could be 2017 all over again.
We were making the joke in the group chat about, like, oh, Barkov's the most underrated player in the league. I think this year, Gustav Nyquist has, an actual shot to be. I don't think anyone saw him getting, like, what did he get, 70
career
points
high
or whatever?
points by 20-plus points. It's
That's insane.
Very underrated free agent signing.
He's 34.
That's incredible. That absolutely has to be up there for one of the goofiest seasons of all time.
Facts. I just want to piggyback off Pierce's point real quick because I'm in the firm believing group that Nashville is one of those teams that if they could just get the scoring they need, they're going to be they're going to be the Western Conference Islanders this series. You watch.
Whoa, you're so
I wonder
right.
who their GM is, huh?
I know, right? Isn't that crazy how that works? And also, like, I get it. Demko's really good, but like, I'm trusting UC Saros 10 times more than I trust Thatcher Demko. I know Thatcher Demko almost beat Vegas 4 years ago, but like,
Yeah.
you know, the Oilers lost to the Blackhawks that year. The fucking Habs almost made. Like, the COVID years are so relevant for that type of stuff.
Don't count. So Tampa's Cups don't count. Owned Mork.
Let's go.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but like, it was just a silly time in general. But
it was very goofy indeed. Nutter Butters even.
Yeah. I just look at Vancouver. They have a lot of players who, like, I think people forget this, but like the best player on that playoff team the last time Vancouver was in the playoffs isn't there anymore. It was Bo Horvath.
He's on Winnipeg now.
Like,
oh no, he's on the Islanders.
Yeah,
Toffoli was also good.
Yeah, Toffoli was fucking amazing too. You get my point though. It's just like when they were here last time, it wasn't because of Pettersson, it wasn't because of Besser, it wasn't because of Miller, and it has to be these guys this time. And I think the pressure is immense on them, especially for how they performed after the Lindholm trade. Like, there's no other way to preface it. No one's
you
really
won 50 games.
Obviously,
it doesn't matter what's happened before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys probably hear it more in Canada than I do here, but like, I got to imagine they're talking about how much pressure's on Vancouver because like your cap situation gets so much worse after this year.
It's really funny because the 4 teams made the playoffs in Canada, and 2 of them are like getting absolutely shit on. 2 of them are like, oh well, I mean, you know, it's kind of whatever. Like Vancouver,
the Jets have the least amount of pressure.
Yeah,
which is why I think they could
Edmonton's kind of in that middle ground where they're like, if you go out in
there's a lot of pressure on
the pressure on Edmonton. Yeah. Edmonton's got the most out of anyone, in my opinion. You want to know why?
I think they have more than the
Leafs. Fucking cakewalk to the Western Conference Final.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. I haven't heard nearly as much, but like Vancouver and
Toronto, I think they got more pressure than the Leafs, the Oilers.
There's talks with the Leafs, like even if they go in 7 to the Boston, they got to trade Nylander again, and it's like
they should trade Marner. They should have done it last
year. Vancouver's got a lot, and like I remember after 20 games, it was like Miller, Hughes, and Pettersson were on pace to like each get 150 points. And Besser was on pace for like 70 goals. And it was like, obviously it wasn't sustainable, but like, I didn't expect him to cool off nearly as much as they did. And like, Hronek at one point was going to get like an assist per game. He ended up with 48 points. It's like, that's a good year, but fuck, man.
It helps them for the contract, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But like, going into the playoffs, they really fell off. And I'm kind of worried playing a defensive stalwart in Nashville, like that they could struggle to find form. But we'll have to see. I also just don't trust Demko at all in the playoffs. I don't know why. He's been a very good playoff performer. I hate him.
I'm with you. I don't trust him.
He's only played in 1 playoff, so maybe I shouldn't say he's a good playoff performer. He played 4 games.
Also, complete side note, new unrestricted free agent I want the Blackhawks to acquire is Dakota Joshua. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my god,
that guy is like the goated third liner. I want him.
Yeah. No, that's fair. 32
points. Big, he hits, he scores in between the legs. That's all you want.
He does plays good
defense. Fellas, is this the ideal NHL player? I think so.
Yes. This is what Stan Bowman thought Kirby Dach was. But the only reason I bring this up with the Canucks is because I'm looking at their cap friendly right now. And after this, like once this season ends, They have to re-sign for Hronik. They got to their whole defense is going to get.
You want 8x8? I heard. Plus, I think Alan Walsh is his agent.
You know, yeah. And if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, oh my god.
Oh, listen, with what fucking Hannafin got, there's an argument to say he could at least get 7. I don't think he should have. I don't think he's as good as Hannafin. Hey, listen, man.
Hronik and no Hannafin are not in the same tax bracket. I'm sorry.
He will absolutely get it from somebody because that's how stupid this league is.
You're right on that, but is he actually? No.
Oh, Jake, if it's going to be your team, they need to give Rasmus Dahlin a real defensive partner.
They're going to see that he's right-handed, and they're just going to give him the 8. And I'm like, someone's going to do it.
Yeah, but I think the only thing I'm really trying to preface at the end of the day, the reason I'm picking Nashville is because like everything Nashville succeeds at is a perfect counter to what Vancouver's good at. Like, oh, they have Elias Pettersson, this high-octane #1 center, potential hard candidate down the line. Well, Ryan O'Reilly's going to shut his ass down.
Ryan O'Reilly, have fun.
Like, and then it's like, oh, we got all these great forwards that are going to be great. Well, you know, they still have Roman Josi. They still have all these guys on the back end that are playing at a way higher level than they should be. I'm looking at guys.
They just played the Nashville way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's credit to Burnett, who's not going to get Jack Adams credit, which is bullshit. He probably should win that. But that's a whole other thing. Also, I think one thing that's not even getting enough credit is Nashville is like 4th last in cap space. Like they're not using their cap and they're still curious. Also, shout out Ryan McDonough, still fucking elite. That's the other defenseman I couldn't think of. So like, I just think the stuff that they're so good at, and if Saros is on his A game, which we've seen Saros do in the playoffs. Last time they were here, he dragged Nashville to 6 games against Carolina.
I think Saros locks in.
Yep. Nashville in 6. That's the point I'm trying to make, though. It's just like I like the way Nashville's built for this series in particular.
To make a long
story
short,
Edmonton the next round, not a fucking chance, or LA for that matter. But sorry. All right, continue.
Yeah, let's get on to the next series. You bring that up. Good, 3rd year in a row, Oilers versus Kings, and I think it's another same result. I think it's Oilers in 6. I
was gonna go Oilers in 5, so I think that's fair.
Oh wow.
I just don't trust LA's goaltending anymore. Like they started
I
again.
don't trust any part of LA, to be honest.
Did you guys beat
the Blackhawks
last night?
You don't trust the
No, I need to preface this before we continue about goaltending. Did anyone see Cam Talbot's stat line last night?
Wasn't it like 4 goals on 13 shots? Yeah.
NHL 24 ass stat line.
Yeah.
Like
again, they started so hot. Like, well, the goalies did in LA, and they've really petered out. Like Talbot's down to a 913, which I remember at one point he was on like a 925. But Phoenix Copley just like don't ever let him see the ice. David Riddick surprisingly is 921, but it's also David Riddick, so
yeah, I'm not trusting him to come in and save the Kings.
They would need a miracle to beat the Oilers, I think. But you know, they kind of got a lot of young players, so I'm not really too worried for LA's future. Like Byfield looks great, so just if you lose, it's not like a blow it up kind of situation. But yeah, I like Pearson. I don't really trust this team. Like, you know, trust Pierre-Luc Dubois to shut down McDavid. I guess it'd be Kopitar's job, but
no, that'd be Philip Deneau's job, and he'll probably do a very good job out of it. I just don't know if he has the support around him, the goal scoring, and the goaltending, most importantly.
Yeah, Trevor Moore is so good. When did he start? When did he become a 50-point player?
If you've been on this podcast more, you would know. More.
Dude, they said that shit on the broadcast last night. They were like, "Who would have ever saw Trevor Moore being a 30 goal scorer?" And I was like, I did. Thank you."
Me. Yeah.
But I'm not I was originally gonna pick Oilers in 7, but I was thinking about this more last night while I'm watching the game, and it's just like, if one of these fucking goalies just does their job, LA is so good. Their defense core should not be as good as it is, but it is. Their team defensive structure is suffocating. It is actually suffocating the way they play hockey. And if you can you don't even have to neutralize McDavid. Just slow him down. Like, put one little fucking weight on his ankle to slow him down just a tad so he's not world beater status. And Pierce, we talked about it earlier this year. This is the perfect example of who the hell is a bum on LA that can just take one for the team and double axe handle someone. Like, this is the time to do it. because you know what you need to get over the hump against this team. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to try to go blow for blow with Edmonton, you're going to lose every fucking time. You need to force Edmonton to put the square peg in the round hole. And the only way they can do that is if, one, the goalies start making saves, which you guys are very valid in saying that they won't. But also, it's just like, even if they do get into a barn burner, I trust LA's depth more than I trust Edmonton's depth. That's for damn sure. And, McDavid can't be on the ice 60 minutes a night. I'm going to say LA in 7. I think they have their St. Louis Blues 2016.
They finally do it.
They finally get over the hump. Or
Edmonton
I guess they
will explode if that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want chaos, and first round exit means Draisaitl's not extending. So let's take
a Blackhawk.
I also think the one thing that really fucks Edmonton is just as how bad LA's goaltending is. Edmonton's is somehow worse.
I don't fucking trust Skinner. I don't trust
Skinner with a 905 and Calvin Pickard's your second. Dude, I remember when he was like a medium elite in NHL, like 17. What the hell happened? How is he still here?
Yeah, he won the cup with the Avs, clearly, right? Because he was the Avs prospect at the time. Clearly, he stuck with all those teams.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'd also want to preface, I still don't trust Edmonton's depth. I don't care these acquisitions they made.
I was looking at this, and holy hell, is some of this just bad. Like
Corey Perry is not gelled there.
McLeod 30 and 81 is whatever, but then below him, Perry 13 and 38. Man, Derek Ryan 12 and 70, 12 and 70 for Brown, 12 and 70 for Matthias Janmark. Your whole fourth line has 12 points. What the hell? Adam Henrique 9 and 22, Dylan Holloway 9 and 38. Who's doing anything besides those guys? Besides McDavid and Draisaitl?
You know who's doing it, and it's the 5 guys who always score for that team. It's just it's not substantial. It's not sustainable in a 7-game series. And eventually, LA is going to get enough right bounces to go their way, and I think this is the year they do it. Also, let's just put this into perspective. I'm just going to keep it blunt. Everyone's given this Pierre-Luc Dubois rightful shit all year. This is the series where he goes fucking apeshit like we've all seen.
It would be so funny if he did. I can't lie.
Because, what does Edmonton do to counter Dubois if he starts rolling? Honestly, because then you're going to have Deneau shutting down McDavid. Or Kopitar for that matter. And then you could basically give Byfield and Dubois free reign to do whatever the fuck.
Yeah. You telling me Byfield and Dubois are going to struggle against Nugent Hopkins, Kane, and somebody else? Give me a break. No.
I think this might be the year. If they could get a goddamn save, it's gonna be the year. But that's
the one thing they have to watch out for. Is just don't take a single penalty ever, because that's Edmonton. As long as they're in the playoffs and they're getting power plays, they're still.
Dude, they scored at a 50% rate last year.
Just we've seen Draisaitl go playoff mode. That's the one thing. If he's healthy and not on one leg, I'm still scared of how good he'll be.
Over a goal per game, yeah.
We have to obviously wait and see. It looks like they're going in relatively healthy with all their best players, so it should be
I do
fun.
think the Oilers win, but I'm skeptical on whether or not they can beat Vegas and Dallas. I don't think they can. I just don't think they have. I think they can beat LA, even Nashville.
Once it gets into the next rounds, it gets a little tougher, but I think they could beat LA just because LA, especially lately, hasn't looked super great.
I think also a key is LA needs to be healthy this series because, I look at a guy like Victor Arvidsson, who's just such a pivotal part to this forward core. If someone like him goes down, that changes the whole complexity of their lineup. They're so deep down the middle. No one can disregard that. But, all it takes is one injury to mess up that entire forward core. And that goes for both sides for that matter. But I just think with LA specifically, I'm looking at Arvidsson's stats right now. He's only played 18 games this year, but he has 15 points in those 18 games.
Yeah, future Blackhawk.
It's crazy how good he actually is and how underrated he is.
He's a playoff performer too. He torched the Blackhawks and he was part of those Nashville.
Dude, he was one of the main reasons they made that cup final. He was so good that year. 2016 too, for that matter.
He's a dog.
Yeah. But it's gonna be one of the most intriguing series to watch. I think that one.
Oh, it's always fun. Yeah.
And I guess Battle of Florida too, because Battle of Florida is just gonna be a goddamn slugfest.
Speaking of which, let's get to it. Panthers versus Bolts. I got Panthers in 6.
Panthers in 7.
I hope it goes 7. I think it's gonna be a super fun series. Both those teams hate each other, but we talk, like it could happen with LA and Edmonton, where third time's a charm. LA finally comes through. We've seen that happen a lot, where two teams face each other, 2 or 3 times, and then finally, like third or fourth time, they break through. I think this is the time for Florida to do it. I really like Dallas in the West, but I think right now Florida is my cup pick. It's just they now have they're now battle tested. I think Sergei Bobrovsky had a very underrated good year. I mean, you never know with Bobrovsky, he can still implode in the playoffs, but I still think he'll shut the door. They're finally healthy. Everything is right. I like Florida, so I'm picking them in 6 right now.
That's very fair. I want to call out Patrick real quick. Why do you hate Anthony Stolar so much? He had a 925 as your backup.
That's going to be Peter Mrazek's backup next year.
Kill for that. 925 in 27 games? Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, but he's also a Red Sox fan, so it makes
you would think Florida's terrible with the way Panthers fans talk about it. It's hilarious.
That's true.
But it's okay. They're finally getting good hockey.
Yeah. Ekblad coming back and being healthy definitely swings this in Florida's favor.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so tough, man. Tampa's got that black magic when it comes to the playoffs, but they lost to Toronto, so they no longer have it. So I'm going.
They're kind of like Colorado, where they're just so top heavy. Like those stars that have been there, done that, can single-handedly win them a series.
Yeah,
but I think Florida has that and the depth to finally beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I will give them this, kind of like with Colorado against Winnipeg. If Kucherov shows up like McKinnon in that one, there's definitely a chance they can pull off this upset. Which is, I mean, they are the wild card one. This would be an upset, but I don't know, man. The Florida was already a loaded team, and then you added Tarasenko to it. I think they're just gonna, I could see this going 6, maybe 5 in Florida's way, but we'll see.
So here's my 2 things with this whole series. It's no Mikhail Sergachev is such a major loss for Tampa.
Oh,
it would just not even comes to like defensively, but just having that toughness on the ice. They don't have that.
Having a guy who's 6'4", 200+ pounds, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like obviously Hedman could be Superman, but I just think, like you said it, like Florida is so deep this year with the way it's not just like the scoring they're getting, it's how they're scoring. Like Matthew Tkachuk had a down year and still had 88 points this year. Alexander Barkov is probably winning the Selke this year and had probably one of the most run-of-the-mill years he's had in his career. Like, obviously the guy who's like the shock all is freaking Sam Reinhart, 57 goals. That's amazing. But like Carter Verhaeghe, extremely consistent and always good in the playoffs. Like he's just, it's insane.
Yeah, so many overtime goals, it feels like, Verhaeghe.
Like Brandon Montour was a huge playoff performer, and he's healthy going into the playoffs. Like, I don't know, man. I just think if they can ride that high of last year's playoffs, and it's going to take them winning, like they can't lose game 1, in my opinion. This is a series where if Florida loses game 1, Tampa's going to have them by the balls by game 4. It's going to be one of those series. But if Florida can just play their game the way everyone knows they can, that team that had 30 shots against the Leafs 2 games ago, like this is, or 30 shots in a period. Yeah. So like,
which team has that happened to before? What was it? 33 shots. Oh, yeah. I think it was 2018, beginning of the 18-19 season. Oh God.
But I think it just comes down to those 2 things. Like you said earlier, Jacob, the fact that even if Bobrovsky falters, they can throw Stolarz in and he's fine. Like,
Stolarz has a 25-point better save percentage than the best goalie on Tampa. Vasi had a 900. Their backup had an 890, and their other backup had an 892. Like I trust Vasi in the playoffs, but holy hell, man! If he doesn't show up, they are absolutely just.
Listen, if it's Conn Smythe Vasi, like they're gonna win. But
yeah, of course. But you gotta hope he shows up. And with how he's been this year, you might not. Oh.
No, and this is a lot of hard miles on this Tampa team. People forget that. Like they had those 3 straight deep playoff runs. Like we watched this firsthand with the Blackhawks,
and all condensed too. Like it was less than a calendar year that Tampa went back to back. It was like 9 months, 10 months. They played a lot of mileage.
Yeah.
One player that we did not bring up on the Florida Panthers, who might be the most underrated defenseman in the NHL, Gustav Forsling.
Gustav Forsling, yep.
Such an underrated piece to that defense. And I think more people are going to know the name of Gustav Forsling. It sucks the Blackhawks let go of him, but so do the Hurricanes. So, I mean, we're not alone in that.
Yeah. I'm not even mad at that. Like, Gustav Forsling went through waivers twice. Like, every
that's what I mean.
Themselves on that one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many players you can think about through the history. Like, how many teams are kicking themselves about Carter Verhaeghe? He was in 5 organizations.
It was the Leafs, Islanders, Tampa Bay. Even.
I saw him get a hat trick for the Lightning. I was at that fucking game. And the Lightning were like, nah, let him go.
Nah.
Jonathan Marshall shows another great example of that. Like, it happens all the time, man. And that's the beauty of the league. Like, another great one's Hagel. Hell, the Lightning got one. They have one on their team. Yeah. Like, oh, man. But like I said, I think it's Florida in 7. It's going to be close. Mm-hmm. I think that the Stars for Tampa lock in. And if Vasilevsky's the key, period. If Vasilevsky is what we all know he can be, yeah, they might steal this shit. I think that's the key, and Game 1's the key, like I said. Those are like the 2 biggest keys to this series. Whoever sets the
What's the thing? I think Florida is a better team and by quite a bit, but also I don't think it's an upset if Tampa does beat them.
Nope. Also, from a bias perspective, Tampa losing 4, so we get a better pick. Thank you.
Woo! You sound like Drew in the group chat
pick 19.
Complaining about Dallas versus Vegas.
Oh, my God.
This isn't fair. They both have conditions with Calgary.
I had to see one more Flames fan be like, we're moving up from 9 to 1. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I used to do this with the Blackhawks. Like, don't set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah,
please.
You know, just be happy you're picking 9th and not.
Yeah, just start looking at prospects like this.
This is crazy. I really thought Dumba was going to do more. He's got 2 points in 18 games.
Stinky.
Oh, you know what? That's fit in well with Tampa Bay? Anthony Duclair. So that's
Duclair is just great, but. What happened to Dumba, man?
He played in Arizona.
50 points like 5 years ago, and then he's broken 20 points once since.
That's the key. What 5 years ago.
I know, but he used to be so good.
We're in different times now.
Yeah. Imagine telling someone 5 years ago that, like, they're watching the Wild, and it's just like, yeah, Jonas Brodin's going to be like the best defenseman on your team. They're like, no, we got Suter, we got Dumbo, we got all these guys.
We got Goligoski. Oh, he's still there. I'm pretty sure.
The only one that's valid is whoever says Spurgeon, but like that's it. Spurgeon's hella underrated. The fact that they're going to have Spurgeon favored on the right side for a while is going to be very annoying, but also very good.
Oh, maybe not for a while. Isn't Spurgeon like 36?
No. Spurgeon was like early 30s.
Where is he?
Either way, Wild missed the playoffs again.
Yeah, Pierce is right. Oh no, Spurgeon's 34. So yeah, 34, that's tail end of Spurgeon's career.
Yeah, that's fine. By the time Faber's ready to take over, he'll be like 35. So he's
already ready to take over.
That's why I said 35. One more year.
Faber, Brodin, or Brodin Faber, I guess, because Brodin's a lefty. But you know, what I mean. I don't know how.
All right. Let's steer back onto the road here. Let's talk about.
I like going off the road.
I like crashing into the trees and going into ditches. How dare you? So Bruins Leafs, another series that's happened a few times before. And to me, this is a you can flip a coin and you can go whatever, but. I'm feeling the passion. I say Leafs in 7.
Leafs in 7.
I think.
Wow.
Well, technically 4th time is the charm, but in the the Matthews Marner era.
Marner era.
Yeah.
This will be the.
Oh my God! I'm texting at the Rose later tonight.
Please do. Well, let's clip this and send it to her.
Is this gonna be a waste of the Mitch Marner era in Toronto? Oh,
yeah, Steve Dangle ate a video of him yelling Marner era wasted.
I'm gonna say that shit to Spence when they're losing in Game 1 tomorrow.
Marner era wasted? No, I'm feeling the passion though. 3rd time of the Matthews-Marner era that they're facing the Bruins, I think they come out on top this time, and I think the Bruins suffer another Game 7 loss on home ice.
That honestly, this is a tough one because like either of these teams losing is just a win for hockey, but like
it's chaos.
Yeah,
it's exactly what you want. 2 original 6 teams, 2 annoying fan bases.
Yeah. Like objectively, Boston has much better goaltending, but also if you look at their scoring charts, Pasternak has 110, and then Marchand has 67. That's insane. This isn't even top heavy. This is just top, and then nothing.
Pasternak is a top, is what you're saying.
Ritu cut Charlie Coyle's 60-point season. Thank you.
Okay, Charlie Coyle.
Pavel Zacha 59 points or something.
They're
acceptable. 40 points. Shut the fuck up. What is this team?
Yeah, okay, that is kind of crazy. Morgan Geekie at 39.
Okay, I knew that.
Morgan Geekie out for real.
It's like twice a month.
Danton Heinen had 36. Dude, these guys I thought were just the fourth liners. What the fuck's going on?
Dude, they're built like the 2015 Blackhawks, and it actually makes me sick to my stomach. Like, they don't have a Jonathan Toews, though, so this is the difference. There's no Bergeron anymore.
Yeah, the Leafs definitely have the better scoring. Defense is like 50. Like McAvoy's easily the best defenseman on the ice, but I don't know. I don't know,
man. Ian Mitchell's pretty fucking good. Like,
hey, has Alec Regula played some games for the team?
I don't know why you said Ian Mitchell, and I thought of Ian White, and I was like, that dude still plays. Yeah, dude. Can't wait to see Ian Mitchell and Derek Forbort out there in Game 7 to stop Matthews in overtime. That's gonna be great.
You know what? Like, he's so scoring now just because you said that shit.
Oh yeah.
Also, like, Andrew Peake's gonna like finally figure out how to not be ass on this team come playoff.
I'm pretty sure he already has. I'm pretty sure the numbers. He's been doing well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably.
I just
Boston's got that black magic. They'll figure it out. But like, I mean, it looks like they have their top 4 all healthy. McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo, and Grzelcyk are all not dead. So defense I'm giving to them, goalie I'm giving to them, but God, their offense is so bad compared to Toronto's. I just don't know.
So I go to 2 things with this. Obviously, what you said is correct. Like, the offense goes to the Leafs, defense goes to the Bruins, goalie goes to the Bruins. But like, I can't help but just keep thinking about the mental aspect when it comes to the Leafs, and it's like,
oh yeah,
man, if you're really like, we always talk about it with the Capitals, right? If there's ever a year you're gonna win the fucking cup, you want to go through the team that's been annoying the crap out.
You want to slay the dragon.
Yeah. Like when the Hawks beat the Red Wings to do it, it was so much sweeter than any of the other ones for that reason alone. Like,
that's why the Blues Cup run is a fraud, because they didn't beat the Blackhawks that year. I mean, the Blackhawks.
Honestly, they should have just missed the playoffs like a real team. Anyways.
Yeah.
You should have just not won it all, but that's a whole nother thing.
You should revoke your cup championship, St. Louis.
Yeah, if you don't beat your biggest rival, does it really count?
Exactly. You get it.
I just think it means more. And like, I just feel like if the Leafs are coming out of the Boston series and they win in a Game 7 in Boston.
Yeah.
Dude, they're untouchable going into Florida. Like that, it's like how Ovi was when that team went into Tampa the next series. The first 2 games, they just fucking curb stomped the Lightning.
That will at least carry them to the Cup final. Like, that was the same with the Canucks and beating the Blackhawks.
Yep. I think it might be one of those cases, but it's literally going to have to take someone other than the core 4 scoring goals. And that's the beauty of the way they set that team up. Well, yeah, but like freaking Domi, Bertuzzi are on this team now. You got like actual depth going forward. Yarncroke's going to be healthy. Like,
yeah, the one thing with Bertuzzi isn't he like a terrible playoff performer?
He was great last year for Boston.
Yeah, he had 10-7 last year.
Yeah. He had 10-7. All right, never mind. I take it back.
Why they signed him?
Goated.
But Domi was nasty in the playoffs last year too. Like, they got the guys to give them depth scoring this time. They have no fucking excuse ever. Like
10-7. Fuck. All right, never mind. He's gonna step up.
Yeah, he's a player, dude. I'm telling you. Like, and the thing is that no one's talking about. Well, I guess like Toronto's talking about it, but like Domi, Matthews, Bertuzzi has been fucking nasty the last 20 games of the year. Like, rock that line and put Marner and Matthews or Marner, Nylander, and Tavares on the line. Like,
they won't do that though.
No, they won't. Sheldon keeps a fucking moron. He's gonna put David Kampf in the top 9. That's a whole nother thing. Like, ugh.
They'll scratch Robertson and put Nyes on the 4th line. It'll work out.
Yeah, but those are the keys for me in this series. Obviously, also like Samsonov has to have his head screwed on straight. That's another thing. Like if this is another, it would be peak Toronto versus Boston if everyone's firing on all cylinders and the goalie's like 880, like Freddie Anderson was all those times.
It's really sad too because since he came back, he was really good, and then he kind of just like the last 3 weeks fell apart again. It's like
and then Joseph Woll does not look the same since coming back.
No, and Martin Jones don't even bother putting him in net.
But like sorry, Pierce. Sorry.
I was gonna say over the year I've been looking at teams that have missed the playoffs and now teams that have made the playoffs. What team could have used Peter Mrazek? And funny enough, I think the Leafs probably could have used Peter Mrazek. I think I think going back to before, I think either the Oilers or Kings could have used Peter Mrazek. I think the Avs could have used Peter Mrazek. Yeah, there's a couple of those teams, or a few of those teams.
You could make the argument Tampa could have used him too.
As a backup, definitely.
Yeah, fuck, he might have been the starter.
Played better than him.
Yeah.
Worst team, so.
I will say this. I think the one thing that gets in Toronto's way is always going to be Toronto, because right now it looks like they're scratching Brody to play much worse defenseman in Lyubushkin or Edmondson. And
have you not? No, but like,
I know Brody hasn't been good, but
Brody's
those two guys are worse.
Dude, but they're not, and that's the problem. Like,
I don't know. Seeing what Leaf fans have been saying, they are adamant that he is still better. So I don't know.
I'm in the group of like you run Riley Bush, you try to run Gio.
And then McCabe Benoit.
McCabe Benoit is your second pair, and then you run maybe Gio Liljegren. Like that's your top six. Maybe Edmondson instead of Gio.
I was gonna say Edmondson's gonna be in. They got him for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, for this moment to play the Bruins.
Yeah.
Well, Connor Timmins is playing top pair. So,
and then if they're gonna take apart, like you said, the Matthews Bertuzzi Domi line was really good. If they're gonna take that apart to go back to Matthews, Nyes, and Marner, I don't know, man. They could easily get in their own way. I also find it funny because like they finally won a first round, and then they basically just got dumpstered in the second. Is the pressure not back on them to like?
Oh, it's always on them.
Essentially, just like.
Maybe not as much, but there's still quite a bit of pressure. And if they lose in the first round again, significant.
If they lose in the first round and it's like in 5 or something embarrassing, like it's last year was meaningless then. So
it's all meaningless.
Well, true, but
it's all meaningless.
Listen, Mitch Marner is what it is.
I like watching them suffer. You know how funny it is reading Spence tweet?
That is pretty fucking
live
funny.
tweeting the games is so hilarious. There's like 17 tweets in a row about how he wants to kill himself, and then Matthews will make it 3-2, and he's like, "Oh my god, I want to live."
Olivia Rodrigo's mom? I mean, we've all tweeted that once before, am I right?
Olivia Rodrigo's mom is way too old for Spence. He only goes for people like his age or a year younger.
Oh god. Oh god, Portnoy just been
moving on.
I'm fucking hammering the over on the Kings and dropping the mic.
Oh, I saw that. Absolutely. Imagine being that rich, you can spend $150,000 on a stupid bet.
God, they're so losing in round one. Like it's not even funny. Another thing with the Oilers is every time they've had a cakewalk, they always lose. So like,
true. Oh, I didn't pick. I'm gonna take Boston in 6.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I don't
go with the voodoo wizardry and bullshit. It's always it always wins.
I legally refuse to pick Toronto on anything.
I'm feeling the passion, but for me, this is like Dallas and Vegas, where this will be my favorite series of the East to watch because I mean it's Toronto and Boston. Mm-hmm. But flip a coin, can go either way. I'm feeling Leafs, but it'll also be funny if Bruins 1-7 again. It would be the funniest.
The next series, there is no coin flip. If the team, if the Rangers lose, they should fold. That's simple as. If Washington wins, I will not hear you out on this one. I'll hear you out on the Dune popcorn bucket. I won't hear you out on this one.
Did you see the Deadpool 3?
I did. I already bought tickets.
The blowjob bucket. This is insane.
Oh, dude, it's fucking amazing.
Oh my god!
Who greenlit that? How did they actually let that out of fucking? That's insane.
Because they saw how much money the other one made.
You're right, but still, someone's actually gonna fuck it in the movie theater.
Dude, yes. Like I thought this was already given. Like it's already lubed up. There's so much butter. Like Anyways, the Rangers. Are we talking about the fucking Hurricanes? Which one do we want to talk about?
Oh, it should be.
I was going Rangers Caps. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Rangers in 4, but I'm gonna say Rangers in 5 just because Charlie Lindgren's gonna do some bullshit. One of those.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think we go full circle from 2010. Instead of being the team that won the President's Trophy and blew a 3-1 series lead, I think the Capitals come back from 3-1 down against the Rangers, beat the Rangers, and Charlie Lindgren is the hero. So, because hockey doesn't make any sense. This is my one goofy. You might even say Nutter Butters pick. I'm going Capitals in 7.
Your Nutter Butters pick. That's completely fair.
I have been allowed to get goofy.
You're allowed to get goofy. You're allowed to have a little bit of the jokes and gags. Rangers had 5 players score more than Dylan Strome, who was Washington's highest scorer.
I love that Dylan Strome was finally getting some playoff time and like real.
Oh no, Schmitty got it. You have to hate it. Every time he does something, you're getting added by 17 different people.
Yeah, that's why they're getting swept.
Yeah,
nothing against Strome. I can't see Capitals fans happy. I'm so tired.
Absolutely. I'm happy.
This is the same team that was screaming for Celebrini in Game 5. Like I can't.
This is the team that was screaming to lose out with 6 games left, so they'd have a chance to win the lottery. And now they're here, and they're like, "We had it covered the whole time. We're the best." It's like
Pierce and I have had this talk. I'm so over the loser point in the NHL. So
I was gonna say that should tell you everything about how the point system works in the NHL. That within a week, you had a discussion of Macklin celebrating to, we're going to beat the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers that have like 25 more points than us. Even though they have almost 20 more wins.
If you go to the 3-2-1 system or whatever, like it just would be so much better. But unfortunately, we get to see frauds like Washington and the Islanders make the playoffs instead. So nice.
Oh yeah, these are 2 of the most boring series to me. Next series, I'm not fucking around with this. Hurricanes in 4. Fuck the Islanders.
I'll say Hurricanes in 6, just because the Islanders play such a boring brand of hockey.
Nah, Jake Gensel's elevated Carolina to a whole new tier.
You're absolutely right, but I just
Hurricanes in 4.
Yeah, I hope it's in 4 so the Islander fans don't get to experience happiness. But unfortunately, terrorism hockey kind of like wins sometimes.
It works sometimes.
Yeah, there's
a win or 2.
God, if there was ever a team that like would have immense pressure on them if they weren't in Carolina, it's the Hurricanes. Like, I'm sorry, if the Hurricanes were in a Canadian market, they were
my god,
hell in the streets
right there with
for what they've done the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit! Like, they need to. Like, I was joking with my buddy Chris. He's a big Hurricanes fan. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna win the cup this year." I was like, "Win a conference final game first,
yeah,
and then maybe
there's a whole."
Because I love a lot about Carolina.
Right? Come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to see Rangers Carolina in round 2. I think that would be so good.
Rematch.
But
I want blood in round 2, and we're gonna get it with some of these matchups.
Besides
the Pacific,
if you got Florida Toronto and then Rangers Carolina, like the exact same rematches, could be so fun.
Dude, I think it's I've said it for a couple weeks to Pierce. I think it's going to be a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final. Like, I think it's going to be.
I believe that too. Agreed. Totally agree.
Man, wait till you get Tampa Bay, Washington now.
Can you just not speak some nightmare into my existence? That's actually like the worst outcome you could have.
Tampa Bay, Washington, and then you're
back in 2018 again.
Not only do I have to deal with Capitals fans, but I have to deal with fucking Lightning fans that I live near.
Oh man.
God, at that point, just make it fucking
the most boring cup final of all time is Nashville and the Islanders.
Why would you
go watch a
Lamorello Cup? Like, why are we speaking these matchups into existence?
Because it can't actually happen, can it?
It's the only sport where it can happen, dude.
You are right.
We were this close to getting Islanders and Canadians in 2021. Remember that?
Oh fuck, you are correct.
Jesus Christ!
Who did the Canadians? Oh, fuck, dude. We could have had Vegas Tampa. That would have been so good.
We could have Vegas Tampa.
A lot of great cup finals. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did have Blackhawks Penguins a couple times too. It never works out that way, unfortunately.
Part of me though, I kind of like. I want to see Carolina explode because they have so many young prospects that I kind of want to see them just trade a bunch of players. They're like, hey, we got this fucking Bradley Nadeau guy. Get the fuck out of here, Natchez. Like, I want to see some movement.
It's okay. We're gonna offer sheet Seth Jarvis and start that process real quick.
Oh fuck yeah, that I can respect that. He's
I'm
so
just kidding.
interesting.
No, we're not offer sheeting. That's too stupid. We're trading him Tampa's first.
Also
Oh,
true.
yeah. I like that idea
It's
better.
true too because offer sheets don't exist.
Dude, literally though. Like actually with Carolina they do. So
Well,
Carolina
yeah,
probably matched that shit.
Carolina and Montreal are the only ones. They would match that, and then they would steal Connor Bedard in 3 years.
Yeah, but that's
Don't-
just like them flirting. Like that's what that is at the end of the day. Oh, we're gonna offer sheet your best player. Oh, well, we're gonna do it to you too. Like just kiss already.
Actually,
Jesus
they
Christ.
wouldn't do it with
make
Bedard
the
because
trade.
they did it with fucking what's his face, Kotkaniemi. So they would offer sheet like who's a fraudulent
They
player.
offer sheet Philip Kurashev next year.
There you go. That's a good one.
Mhm.
I was like, I can't say Reichel because I like him, but Kurashev, sure, get out of here.
Dude,
You're going
Michael
there
like,
for
actually
cheap
started
first.
using his speed. It was so much fun at the end of the year. It's great.
Oh, dude, just like Teravainen, Gensel, Natchez,
Table
Chad
future
Drury,
Blackhawks.
Jarvis, Shea, Pesci. This team has so many
And
players
the
expiring.
man.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, and
I
want
need
one
to
of
see them fail.
I want all of them.
I want all of
Bring
them.
them
You're
to
coming
me.
here.
Yeah, you're coming with me. You're coming home
Oh.
with me. Like me to
They
Chivas.
get,
We're
like,
now returning the favor. We are
lose
now
the
taking
series.
the players from Carolina,
They
not
lose
the other way
series
around.
And everyone's going to the room, and Schmidt's taking one of them back from Chicago, and he's like, "What the fuck? I'm supposed to be
Like
going
I'm
home."
I'm not even bullshitting. Like if they get to free agency and the Hawks took a defenseman with that first pick, fucking give Jake Gensel an 8 times 8. Or
Oh,
like
absolutely.
a 9.5 times 7.
Absolutely.
Whatever the
Bro,
fuck.
give him like a 15 times 2.
I just like I don't care, dude.
Pull
Like
the
you
most
have the
Sheeliga
fucking
move of all
money.
time. Fuck it.
Dude, as soon as NHL GMs start acting like Sheet League GMs, that's when I know the league is cooked.
That's why they should let us run it, I think.
Honestly, it would be way more fun.
You know, I think we should just let
You know, chat, what do we think
Let's
about
spit.
that?
no, we'll let Zeke run all of the Western Conference and just see what
Oh,
happens.
please, dude.
God bless him.
He is either the best and worst GM at the same time with some of his
It's
trades.
insane.
I don't know how he does it. He traded a 90 overall, and then he made the fucking conference finals. Like, just go fuck yourself.
Don't you just love that game?
Mid-season. And he's like, I'm going to make my team marketably worse, but hey.
Emphasis
winning.
on mid.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, so there we go. Did we?
Yeah.
We basically like agreed on all of them.
Unfortunately, except the Toronto series, I think we're pretty split on. And then
Toronto,
the LA
yeah.
series we're split on.
Am I the only one who chose Toronto because I chose Toronto in 7?
No, I think
Toronto.
Schmidt chose Toronto. I was the one who took Boston.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
genuinely think the biggest factor in that series is there's no Bergeron. Like Bergeron's the
True,
biggest
yeah.
like
Or
bullshit
Krejci.
factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Lucic
Krejci's
is back, so
Krejci's
like
a
watch
dog.
out.
Krejci high key is like one of the most underrated players in the 2010s, and no one's
Dude.
ever going to talk about it because he didn't have
I'm
like
pretty
good
sure-
stats like that.
He led the playoffs in scoring in 2011 and 2013. Both years they made the cup final.
Yep, and that's no coincidence.
And had almost like 30 points. So
One of the most underrated centers of his time, and it's just
Cool.
because he was behind Bergeron.
he was
most of his
behind
career.
Bergeron. Yeah.
Like, oh, what a privilege! Oh man. But yeah,
So yeah, we did that in just a little over an hour. That was actually pretty good,
Yeah.
I think.
well, yeah, the
so-
last 2 series were bullshit. We didn't want to talk about.
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
we-
yeah.
The Rangers
Dude, that was
Washington
boring
one got about a
series.
minute of coverage.
As it deserves.
Honestly, if it was
Washington-
Rangers Islanders, I'd be more excited, but we
At
couldn't
least
even
it's a
have that.
rivalry. It could be
Yeah.
like, fuck, man, New York, let's go.
Nah,
Here
real
comes the
talk. I
plane or
wanted
something.
Detroit in the playoffs. I wanted that original 6 first round so bad. That
Oh,
would've been
Rangers,
great.
Detroit. Yeah, that would be
Dude,
okay.
yeah.
Rangers,
Come on.
Detroit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Patrick
would've
Kane
been-
revenge series just to piss the whole internet off. Like, please.
that would
like, it'd be
actually-
so
yeah.
funny.
that one.
He didn't get his for us last year. Yeah.
I feel like any team besides Washington was like semi better.
Dude, fuck.
Pittsburgh, I would have
Sabres
been on board with. Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Oh, Crosby
Crosby?
killing his team in the
Dude,
playoffs.
I love the Washington fans trying to discredit his season. It's like, well, they missed the playoffs, so it wasn't that good. It's like, shut the fuck up.
There's a whole team around them that did fuck all, but you decided to criticize.
36
Crosby.
years
All
old,
right,
and he
man.
fucking did that. Let's
You made the
No, they're
playoffs.
Sorry.
I was gonna say they made the playoffs by John Tortorella pulling the goalie when I'm pretty sure it was at a point where like Phil.
It didn't matter.
That's how stupid this league is.
They
yeah.
pulled the goalie because they had to beat Washington in regulation. Only if Detroit,
But it
didn't
wouldn't have
get a
mattered
point.
anyway. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
because Detroit went into overtime, it didn't matter. So They pulled the now. Some people said there was a delay in the coverage, so they actually pulled the goalie like 20 seconds after the goal went in, so they wouldn't have known.
Oh my god!
But if they had iPads on the bench, they would have known. So this is a big fuck you to Torts for not having any technology on the bench.
You should have had iPad kids.
Dude, I'm more mad at the NHL point system than I'm mad at like the because like at the end of the day, the Flyers did what you're supposed to do. They're trying to win the fucking hockey game.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's
like,
just
yeah,
the way it was executed sucked.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel bad for Detroit because like
I don't.
While I do and I don't, I feel bad that they went all the way to the last
wanted them to
game,
make it. It's still funny that they missed.
Wanted to shoot out and all that, and they still missed. But it is funny.
Call me a fucking hater, guys. I don't care, but like simply win more than 38 games or whatever.
Oh yeah, everyone complaining
like,
about
this
it.
Is the most
your team
mid-off to get into the playoffs. Like one of y'all just needed to fucking grab the bull by the horns and win 5 of your last 7. But none of them fucking wanted to do it.
Oh, I know.
So it's just like I it's the only time I've never felt like everyone's like, oh, it's such a sad. Sorry, I don't mean to get on a tangent, but it's like, it's such a sad story that Detroit lost. Blah blah blah. Fuck that, dude. Win more hockey games. It's how This is how this whole situation gets solved. Yeah. No one
of the teams that made it. Just to back you up, Islanders 39, Penguins just missed with 38, Flyers just missed with 38, Red Wings missed with 41. And
dude, the whole apartment reeks.
Capitals made it with 40, and just to prove a point, Buffalo was out by 5 points. They had 39. Ottawa had 37. They had one less win than the fucking Penguins and Flyers who just missed.
Yeah, but guys, this is what Bettman wants. He wants parity in the league. By the way, he wants everyone.
You know
the
SpongeBob episode where they're like, "We're not ugly, we just stink," and then they just.
Dude, it's like I cannot find a way to have any sympathy for these teams.
No, that's completely fair. That's completely fair because Islanders 16 OT losses, a Capitals 11, Penguins
not
12,
real 16,
Flyers 11.
Dude, Boston has like 17. It's nuts.
Boston has 15.
And they almost won a division with that.
I'm gonna give a shout out. This is the only one you actually fuck you. I'm not giving it to Ottawa. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Rangers for having 4 all season. That's crazy.
Real.
Yeah, because they're good.
Ottawa's not. They just lost every game.
Yeah, well, they're the off-season champion shakeup. You should just give them the respect they deserve, honestly.
I thought somebody lost 6. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because when they go to overtime, they're good.
Oh, never mind. Seattle had 13.
They also lost 53 in regulation.
Hey, at least you lose 54. God, San Jose. Jesus, that team fucking reeks.
Yeah, that needs to get talked about more. Like, I know it is getting talked about, but it really does need to get talked about more. Just how fucking terrible.
Like we talked about how bad the Sabres team was when they tanked for McDavid, and how bad some of the Arizona.
There's a few examples.
Never this bad.
This yeah, this team fucking blows.
Yep, it's unacceptable,
and it might only get worse.
For the Blackhawks too. The Blackhawks, it was unacceptable this year, and I'll give them some credit because they had injuries to all shit in some regards, but also like even if they were healthy, they were still going to be bottom of the barrel. Anaheim, there's zero fucking excuse. Columbus, there's zero fucking excuse. Montreal, I think you saw signs of growth that you wanted to see, and they won. Like that's a very slow process in Montreal. I think once they get a goalie, it's going to be a real difference maker. But I'm sorry, like next year there cannot be this case at the bottom of the league where teams are just fucking 40, 50 points. Like I think the Leafs had 69 points when they drafted Matthews or something.
They're one of the best worst teams of all time.
Well, like this is the point though. Like even like the worst team I can think of in recent memory was like that Detroit team, and they still had 20 wins. I think.
No, that's.
I don't think they did. 20, it was the short year.
But. The 16-17 Avs stunk, and I think they won over 20 games too. Like everything went wrong for them that year.
The Maple Leafs went 29-42. This doesn't track OT.
That's not even that bad. That's 10 more wins than 69 what the
points.
Have.
The year before was Buffalo with McDavid, and they went 29-42. So, wait, that's the Leafs.
Buffalo that was trying their ass off to like.
Sorry, hold on. The Buffalo one was 23-51.
No, that is
okay, but like they were willingly trying to lose games and sell everything to lose, and they still won 23 games.
Dude, they traded. Then they trade Halak and Neuwirth because they were winning.
Yeah. The Avalanche one was 22-56. And that was the year. I think they lost the lottery, right? And they got Makar.
Oh no, they just got the best player in the draft. Fuck off. Like, oh my god. I hate this team.
Yeah, that was yeah, because
And I remember when Makar got drafted too. It was just like you see his highlights, and it's like, oh man, this guy's really good. Like, why is he going fourth?
because he played in a league that doesn't exist.
Yeah. He went to UMass. It's literally because he
league.
went to UMass. I bet you $5 if Makar went to fucking Boston College, he probably would have went second or third.
Oh, wasn't the year he was drafted? He was in the fucking Alberta Junior Hockey League.
Yeah, he was playing for the Brooks Bandits.
You're right. The year after he went to UMass, I'm stupid.
Yeah, he played for the Brooks Bandits. You're right. Like, he had 75 points in 54 games, but that's just not.
That's an average season for him in the NHL now. At least point production.
Also, just want to point out with Makar, quietest 90-point season ever from a defenseman. Like,
Dude, he's getting slandered by everybody. I don't know what happened.
That's how much
I don't like the amount of Rangers fans who are talking about him being the worst defenseman in the
jealous.
Worst defensively defenseman. I'm like, dude, why are you hating?
I think that's one of the worst things about the.
Sorry, Pierce. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think that's one of the worst things with hockey Twitter right now. It's if a player is in competition with another player for a certain trophy, whether it's forwards or goalies, it's like, oh well, my defenseman or forward on my team is so great, but his suck, even though they have the same production and same impact on their team. Can't we just all enjoy it? It's the same thing with the Bedard Faber debate. They're both very great. Can't we just both enjoy them instead of shitting on one another, even though Bedard's
absolutely
better?
But Faber's shit. No, but you're right with the two defensemen there. It's why are you talking down Makar to make Fox?
Bro,
just say Fox is good too. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. They both fuck.
Another thing that I think just summarizes how fucking good Kel Makar is. He set a career high in points this year, and no one's talking about that. Insane. He's got more points in the year. He won the fucking Norris, and he's probably not even going to win it this year, just because that's how offensively inclined.
Because Quinn Hughes also put up 90-something points. Yeah,
96.
Evan Bouchard was a point a fucking game.
I'm saying, defensive scoring's up so much now, but we.
And Bouchard is a legitimately good two-way defenseman. I don't even think that's being talked enough in Edmonton how good he is.
Oh fuck him and Ekholm is crazy. How much that's turned that.
Gee, if only they had a Jacob Chikrin behind that and not Cody.
Hey, Jacob Chikrin fucking reeks. We gotta talk. I know Ottawa sucks.
Well, he does on Ottawa. He's played on Arizona.
Also
he's gonna be a Blackhawk.
Oh yeah, no, he'll turn it around.
Yeah, his uncle is Luke Richardson.
Yeah,
he looks just like Luke Richardson. That's the crazy part.
He'll turn it around, but on Ottawa he reeks, and on Edmonton he'd probably reek too because Canadian markets and all that.
Bags.
You're right.
I also want to put my foot down about something about Colorado because everyone always talks about most underrated player in the league, blah blah blah. It's Mikko Rantanen, and it will be until I say otherwise because no one talks about this guy nearly as much as they should. He's had back-to-back 105-point seasons.
Yeah,
you're never gonna fucking hear about it. You're never gonna fucking hear about it. He's the third best player on his team, and that's nothing against him. His last 3 seasons, he's had 92 points, 105, 104. And then the one game
he scored 50 last year too.
Yep, 55. He had 55 and 50. It's insane. He had 42 and 62 this year. Sorry, he had a 104 this year. But then the COVID year, he had 66 and 52. He was hurt for 40 games in the 1920 season, still was point a game. This guy is a dog. It's insane. And then he also had the one year in 18-19 where he was the hottest player in the fucking league for the first third of the year. And then he just cooled off a little bit and only finished with 87 and 74. This guy is actually insane, and his skill set and his size is second to none. No one does what he does at that size.
He is a freak.
I can't wait till Bedard and Lindstrom are McKinnon and Rantanen. It's gonna be so epic.
Dude, I want Caden Lindstrom.
Maybe I'm just not dialed in on Twitter. I think David Pastrnak is underrated. I don't think we're talking about enough about how he has back-to-back 110-point fees.
So good. Dude, the fact that he got a massive contract extension and he's underpaid is fucking nuts to think about.
Yeah.
And as he's played back-to-back 82-game season and has scored almost 110 goals in those.
Yeah.
Unreal. It's so stupid. Oh my God. He's 124 points in the last 2 years. And then the year before that, oh no, he only had 40 goals and 77 points. Darn, down year. It's like when Matthews has 40 goals. Like, Jesus Christ.
He would have had another 50 goal season too if the 1920 season wasn't cut short. He had 48 goals in 70 games.
Fuck. His development curve is actually something that's insane. Because like Boston extended him like he right after that 70-point year and never fucking looked back. Like it's insane. Like he never fucking looked back. You just never like. I think the closest there was to that in terms of like signing a contract and then just going ape shit. It's probably like McKinnon or Scheifele, but like even then, like Pasta, I think was at what like 6.67 for the last 6 years when Boston was fucking nasty, and now he's making 11. But it's like he's worth 13. Like that's how fucking good.
Oh, you had to market like 13, 14 million. Yeah.
Dude, if he made open market 2 years ago, I would have thrown all the Hawks planes out the window and just said, give him a blank check. Like, oh my God. Like, imagine
and just the
Sabres.
and just a ho-hum 79 points in 77 playoff games for Pasternak.
Dude, he's actually a freaking mutant. It's not okay. Like, that's another guy who could just control the series on his own. Like, Pasternak could so easily have 15 and 7 and just say, fuck it, we're winning this series. Like, we've seen it so many times with players before. Oh, my God. We're just so blessed to be in, like, a point in the NHL where there's just this much high-octane offensive talent. It's probably the most since the 90s, bare minimum. Probably the 80s.
30 years, yeah, at least. Yeah. And it's just, I've seen on Twitter, like, is this the best regular season of all time? And then we're having the discussion of, oh, we had a team make the playoffs with 39 wins, which is probably the most NHL thing. And the product is as good as it's ever been, but there's still issues like fucking playoff standings that are an issue. Never change NHL. Actually, no, please do. I can't take this anymore.
Please become better. Become ungovernable.
Become ungovernable.
Oh man, I'm excited. So, what time's the first game tomorrow?
For 5
EST because it's 3 our time,
which works perfectly because I'm off at 2. So as soon as I get home, I'll watch that sucker, and then Leafs and Bruins later. Whoo, mama!
I'd be getting no West Coast games tomorrow night. That's kind of crazy. But also, like, leading off with Canes Islanders. Oh, like, can we not get a better leadoff game?
Everyone will be asleep for the Leaf game.
That's like that's like when you go to a concert for a good band or good artist, and it's like, and then this band is playing, and then they suck. That's what it's like.
Literally. Like, why? Like, why are you opening for this fucking, like...
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought it was some bad comparisons. Oh God. Also, I don't like that the Florida game is at 12:30 on a Sunday. I just think that's bad for what Florida brings to the table. Like that should have at least been a 3 or 5 o'clock start.
No,
you're gonna get actual adamant fans.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, in all fairness, put like the Islander, Hurricanes, and Capitals and Rangers games as early as you can because no one ain't watching that shit. Who are we? No, 100%. Yeah.
Honestly, you could put them on at like 4 a.m. That would be okay with me. I don't really care.
just make them play
the first round in Australia.
Yeah.
The Nathan Walker special caps fucking Rangers in Australia.
Yeah, the ice is melting. Oh no, now you can't complete the games. We'll just have you guys are all disqualified now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
the ice is a swimming pool now. What seems to be the problem?
I guess a good closing note we could go on is what
Frank
series
Nathar is so good, man.
Well, yeah.
That guy, wait. No, that guy at the bottom right of the screen, he's very good. Jacob is also very good, and so is that guy. Yeah.
One of them that somebody I'll point to both.
You got it.
There you go. Look at that. Both of them are great.
No, but what series are y'all most excited for? Because I think for me it's Dallas Vegas. I think that's
agreed. Well,
electric. Sorry,
I think
that should be the conference final. But we get in the first.
I think Dallas Vegas will be the best hockey. I think Florida Tampa or Boston Toronto will have the best Twitter moments.
That's chaos.
Oh,
that's
100%. Yeah. And then I think a dark horse for me is LA Edmonton. I think.
That's always good. We know that's good.
That's either going to be a great series to watch. Or
all the series. in the West, I'm looking forward to it. Like I even think Winnipeg, Colorado is low key underrated.
Oh, that's gonna be a reward.
I don't mind Preds and Canucks, but yeah, just those two series with the Hurricanes Islanders, especially 2 years in a row, womp womp, and Rangers Capitals. I don't care much for.
Dude, Hurricanes stop playing the Islanders in the playoffs challenge. Impossible.
Yeah, please.
Jesus.
I just like how it's the hockey doesn't change because like Edmonton, LA has been 3 years in a row. Florida, Tampa's been what 3 years and 5.
I think that's
This is what Bevan wanted.
Dude, the Rangers and the Capitals have played like what seems like 10 times in 15 years or something like that.
Boston, Toronto is like the 4th time or whatever. You said the 3rd in the Marner era.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 and 10 or so years.
The only time you get something different is like Dallas, Winnipeg, or Dallas, Vegas, because the wild card team snuck in that shouldn't have.
They've even played twice. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
True. At least they played in the conference finals and not the first round.
That's true. I guess. Fuck. Yeah, you got to.
Winnipeg, Colorado
also,
is new.
I want to point out if I'm the Rangers and they lose to the Washington Capitals, I'm not letting them get this because they didn't beat Henrik Lundqvist. So like, you didn't actually beat the Rangers.
You did not beat the Rangers.
Exactly. I would just go like mega hater if they lost that series.
That's like if the Leafs beat the Bruins, yeah, but Bergeron and Krejci weren't there.
Shit. Like, are you kidding me? Only took for our top 2 centers to not be there anymore, guys.
Yeah,
sorry.
15 years, really impressive, guys. Nice.
Jesus Christ! Like it's so.
You finally did it! Wow, so impressive.
You want a cookie? Now go win the second round finally. Like Jesus.
And then they get swept by Florida.
I mean, probably like Florida's a wagon. Like I don't. Only that's the crazy thing with the East. Like the only teams that are going to get in the way of like 3 teams in the East is themselves, and that's Toronto, that's Florida, and I honestly think that's Carolina as well.
Yeah,
like New York, you could maybe throw in there down the line, but I just think like those 3 teams in particular have their own demons to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Florida more just like get healthy at the finish line. Don't limp into the cup final.
Don't have organs spilling out of your
don't have a broken sternum, you know? That probably wouldn't help them.
Yeah, it is funny though, because of the 2 of those, I think they're playing the worst team for them in the first round. Tampa always gets under Florida's skin, and obviously the Boston Toronto one. If you get by them, then you play each other, so have fun.
Dude, and like the team that comes out of there, I don't want to play them. I don't. I just don't.
The only way I'd want to play them is if they were beat to shit. Dude, like if they go 7 in both series, and like you said, Kachuk's got no sternum and Barkov's missing a knee,
it's gonna be a problem. Like that's the craziest part about this playoff right now. When I look at it, it's just like the Central bracket and the Atlantic bracket. Whoever comes out of either of those, that's my cup pick because they beat the best teams.
This was what I was gonna say. For me, the 2 series, like. In the West, I think whoever comes out at Dallas Vegas series will represent the West, and honestly, for me, whoever comes out of that, I think if Tampa gets through Florida, I think they could go to the Cup final again. Call me crazy, but
it's gonna just depend on Vasi. If he shows up, there, it's so hard. It's like again. But like if Winnipeg and Hellebuck shows up, I think they could beat one of Dallas or Vegas. I don't know.
Well, that's what makes it so interesting. It's such a wide open.
Those 2 divisions are so good, which is again why we're gonna get something stupid like fucking. You're gonna get Vancouver versus like the Rangers or something, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, great,
94 rematch."
Oh, yay! Who's gonna make the Messier guarantee this year?
Eric Gustafson.
Barkley Gustafson, and then they lose.
Oh god.
Jonathan Quick on back-to-back cup winning teams. It's happening. For real though, I got Dallas Florida Cup final. I think that's the trendy pick. That or Dallas and Carolina have been a trendy pick. And I got Florida winning. And then I'll go Matthew Tkachuk, Conn Smythe. Fuck it.
Fuck.
Actually, no. Brandon Montour. I think he goes off. Brandon Montour, Conn Smythe, and I think Florida beats Dallas in the Cup final.
I gotta think of who I'm gonna pick because I know they're gonna lose in the first round now. So I'll take.
Let's go Capitals. No.
I'll take Winnipeg, Carolina.
Ooh.
I'll take Gensel, Conn Smythe.
That's good.
I'm going
That's a good pick.
I'm going full chaos pick here. Well, at least for the East. Because I'm taking Dallas to win the cup, obviously. But like I'm taking them beating Toronto in the Robertson Bowl. Like, I want Toronto to get all the way there just to get curb stomped by Dallas. I think because like I don't think Toronto can even match up with any of these Western Conference teams. I think they could squeak out of the East if they play the right way.
Yeah.
But I just think the West is a whole different.
No, the West is so vastly superior. We saw that last year with Vegas and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Florida was not ready for what Vegas had. They were a buzzsaw.
For sure. And I'm gonna go with my Conn Smythe. It's a tie. My heart said, how do I say this? My heart says Heiskanen because I just think Heiskanen is such a dog in the playoffs.
Won in 2020.
Yep, and I think my brain's saying Rope Hintz. So I think this is the playoff where
he's a dog in the playoffs.
Or Joe Pavelski. Who's the last defenseman? Was it Makar to win it?
Hedman. Or yeah, I guess it was Makar. Yeah,
Hedman won one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Hedman won in the COVID.
Yeah, he won
against Dallas, ironically.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Because that was the year where it was literally just Hedman, Point, and Kucherov going ape shit. And
that's why I just assumed it was Point and Kucherov who kept winning them for Tampa.
And Palat, I guess, but
he doesn't count. He's on New Jersey now.
Thank you. At least we're on the same page with that. But yeah, what's your pick, Jacob?
I picked Winnipeg, Carolina.
Oh yeah, you picked Winnipeg, Carolina.
Gensel.
I'm stupid.
I like that.
Gensel, Conn Smythe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's such a good playoff performer. If
Ultimate
he doesn't
Chaos,
show up,
Ultimate Chaos Cup final would be Edmonton and Toronto. Canada would just explode before games could even play.
No, it'd be Vancouver, Toronto. Actually, would Edmonton be bigger than Vancouver? That's the question.
I think
I think it would be pretty close, but I still think Edmonton, Toronto. I think there's more animosity between those two fan bases in Vancouver and Toronto.
It's tough. I think just McDavid Matthews alone would be crazy.
Should have got it 3 years ago.
But Vancouver, Toronto would be pretty crazy. Any Canadian Cup final, even Winnipeg would be there.
But the thing is, if any team's gonna break the Canadian curse, it's Winnipeg. Like this is so how it's gonna work.
They have the most complete team in Canada.
If Canada's gonna win a cup, this is actually the year because like the two in the Pacific should win. Toronto, they at least have a 50-50, and Winnipeg does. You get 4 teams in the second round. That's half the teams. One of them has to go to the Western Conference Finals if Vancouver plays Edmonton. Like you should theoretically have a good chance. So they're all going to lose in the first round. Yeah,
sounds about right.
And that's why the Nashville Predators are winning the Stanley Cup.
And this is my slide on why Ottawa should have won the cup.
Okay, Peter.
Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Got a point in and made that every game he played, he would have had 172 points and 80 goals. You just extrapolate the best out. Oh man,
it's okay though. The Senators are going to sign like Frank for Toronto, and they won.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! They're going to overpay him so much.
Yeah, 6 times 6. Come on now.
No, they're signing Taylor Radish in free agency, baby.
Let's go! Yes, get excited.
He's going back to Tampa to play with his brother. Get excited.
Mark will love that.
Actually, is it crazy that Darren Radish is the better one?
With Hagel.
Fuck off, Pierce.
How could they have lost the trade? They're going to have all the players.
Just for that, Tampa's getting fucking swept in round 1 now. Give us a fucking pick 17. I'm so sick of this shit.
It's only fair. You know what? That's a great way.
Fair. You got your 2 cups things off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jacob, where's the Sabres draft spot right now?
11th, I believe.
All right. We're doing it. We're doing one tankathon before we leave. I feel like it's a good way to close it.
I agree.
Oh, this is the worst tankathon yet. Nothing moved. Hold on, one more time.
We have to do one more to stop action.
New Jersey won and Calgary moved up in Ottawa. Wow.
I'd be hyped as shit for this one, but also like this one stinks for the Hawks. Seattle gets first overall. Columbus gets second overall, and then San Jose and Chicago move down.
Did you say Columbus gets second?
Yeah, Columbus is number 2, so they would get Demidov or Lindstrom or Levshinov. I don't know where. They probably go Demidov, I think.
No. I don't think they need defensemen
or centers for that matter. Like, unless they really like Lindstrom. I mean, that could be the case, but
I'm fully in on Lindstrom now.
It only took like 4 months of convincing Pierce, but we're here, guys. We're here.
It's so tough because I love celebrating is number one easily, but between Lindstrom, Levchinov, and Demidov, I don't know who I'm picking too, dude. I love all three of them so much. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Well, that's what I've been saying. Yeah, but I think Lindstrom is.
Yeah, dude, he's so good, and
and he's a Western Canadian kid. How can I not?
How can you not?
Dude, he's literally Rope hints. Just
career.
That's what like once I heard that comparison, I can't unsee it.
Didn't he say Rupe hints with extra power? I mean,
with more anger and more bite. That's basically what.
Yeah,
which is just crazy to think about because Hints is already a fucking horse. So it's just like, oh my god. And like the thing that you always see you recently see with players that size is like they don't have a great skating ability. Lindstrom has a really good skating ability for his size. It's going to be a threat. It's going to be a threat. I just need the draft lottery to happen. I need to know who we're picking or what range we're going to be in. Because obviously, we won't get fucked. But
we'll find out in 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Have they even announced the date yet?
I think they said either the 6th or the 7th, and I believe that lines up with yeah, I know. I believe that lines up with.
I was like, yeah, you're maybe coming in the 6th or the 7th. We don't know yet. Fuck, dude, this league sucks. Sucks.
They should have done it today. Like your one-off day, build up the hype going into the playoffs. That's what they used to do.
Please stop doing it mid-game where it's like,
totally agree.
Watch this late game at 10 p.m. to see who gets to move up, and then wait 30 more minutes for another period to see. It's like, fuck, just show me.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh well.
Well, all that stuff is going to unfold in the next couple of months.
Oh, wait. I just want to say one thing before you end this. Yeah. If Utah wins the lottery, boycott everything.
Oh, my God.
Why did you put that thought?
Because a bunch of people were saying it on Twitter today, and I'm like, just don't let it happen ever. God, I'll take anything else.
We just got the first overall pick. Dum, 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 dum.
I would feel like you want to just add salt to the wound of Arizona fans.
Salt Lake City. I see what you did there.
Oh fuck. That would be the worst thing possible for them.
Well, I think that's a great way to end things off. I never had Mitch join. Oh wait, is that Mitch on the phone? Hello guys, I'm Mitch. I think Vegas sucks. And I'm gonna lose. And I'm going to lose my job as well. Thanks, Mitch, for that.
I'm going to lose my job because I sold my ring. Don't ask why I sound like Mickey Mouse.
Oh, no.
Boy, Vegas is out in the first round. Okay, let's end it off.
I can't believe Mitch said that. Oh, my gosh.
I can't believe that.
I know. He's just wilding for real. All right. Thank you all listeners for tuning in. Give us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss on any new content. So yeah, we shall talk another time. Peace out, y'all.